total power in one person's hands. Not the American way. These damn bills that come out here all the damn time. Come out here at the last second, and I got to try to figure out how to vote for my people. Hell, it's ashamed of, are you something? You should be ashamed of yourselves. I'm sick of it. Every year, we get power to one.
Welcome back to Morning Joe. We lost him. That was Republican State Representative Mike Bost from the state legislature 2 weeks ago during a debate over state pensions on the House floor in the state capitol. And with us now, two men you won't see screaming on the House floor, I don't think. Democratic Governor of Illinois, Governor Pat Quinn, and Republican Congressman from Illinois, Representative Aaron Schock. 4 years, huh?
Aaron. Yeah, you've heard this all before from Mike Bost.
You know, 4 years ago, I sat in the State House, and Mike Bost sat right behind me for 4 years in a row.
Was he a screamer then, too?
He was a very emotional guy. So,
expressive.
Very expressive, yes.
Well, he's a nice guy. He's a United States Marine, but that was a lot of showbiz right there.
The
bottom line is to solve problems, not to just yell and scream.
Okay, so let's talk about solving problems. But first, Aaron, I have to ask you, you endorse Mitt Romney, what you think of Jeb Bush's comments on the state of the Republican Party. That he doesn't think his father, for example, would have survived in a climate that we have right now in Washington.
I do think the Republican Party has changed over the years. I think the majority in the House of Representatives is different, quite frankly, than the majority 4 or 5 years ago. I know that the kind of entitlement reforms and structural reforms we're proposing to Medicare and Social Security to save them probably wouldn't have passed under the old Republican majority.
Is the Republican Party dysfunctional?
Absolutely not. We have a nominee in Mitt Romney who is running neck and neck with the sitting President of the United States 5 months before the election. I think that's pretty good for our candidate to run against a sitting president 5 months out and be neck and neck. My money's on him to win on Election Day come November. We have a majority in the House. Most of the political pundits expect our majority to grow for us to pick up more seats because of redistricting. And I think we've got a fair shot at winning the U.S. Senate. So I hardly think we're in shambles or disarray given those prospects.
Aaron, you just heard it from Bill Daley. He's the co-chair of the Obama campaign, and you've seen it in President Obama's ads out of his campaign headquarters, which is that he's tried. He's tried to get jobs bills through, and it's Republicans in Congress standing in the way. This is actually a campaign strategy for them now to say they're trying to move the country forward. Republicans don't want it to happen to that.
Well, a couple things. First of all, the president has tried, and the president's own words were, if I don't have this solved in 3 years, it's going to be a one-term proposition. I agree. For 2 years, he had complete unadulterated control of the federal government, a 60-seat majority in the Senate, an 80-plus seat majority in the House. He got literally every piece of legislation he wanted to try and, quote, turn around the economy. Since the Republican, obviously the country did not like the direction we were headed in, hence the Republican majority a year and a half ago. As a result, we have passed a number of job bills of our own. The difference is the 30 bills that the House has passed that are our jobs bills have all passed with bipartisan votes because we've allowed for amendments to be brought forward by Democrats and Republicans and allowed the legislation to be improved. And as a result, all 30 of those bills have moved to the Senate on a bipartisan vote and are waiting for action in the Senate. The president's proposals that he continues to talk about have not only not passed the House, they've not passed the Democrat-controlled Senate either. And we're not going to continue to spend the kind of money the president wants on government jobs, which he continues to talk about, as the path forward to get us out of the economy. If it was adding more teachers and firefighters that would turn this economy around, we would be going gangbusters in the first 2 years of the Obama administration.
You know, just listening to this, President of the United States, Barack Obama, saved the auto industry in our state of Illinois and all over the Midwest. We have 3 shifts at Ford right now. When I started and the president started, we had 1 shift. Chrysler had 200 jobs in 2009. This summer, they're going to have 4,500 jobs in our state. So the president knows what he's doing when it comes to reviving the economy. He's got to have some cooperation, Aaron, from the House of Representatives. All you've been is obstructing the president. You can't even pass a transportation bill, which we did in our own state of Illinois. We're putting people to work on projects, roads, repairing railroads, and things like that. We can't get it done at the federal level because even the House of Representatives can't pass 1 bill.
Well, that's not quite true. I just mentioned we passed 30 different bills. But 2 points. First, when it comes to the automobile industry, I don't think the executives at Ford would credit President Obama with Ford's success. I don't believe they were bailed out. And second, when it comes to a transportation bill, the House of Representatives actually did pass a highway bill. It's the reason we're in conference. We passed a 5-year highway bill. The Senate passed a 2-year highway bill, and we're now working out the differences. Converse that with my first 2 years in Congress, when Democrats controlled the House, the Senate, and the President, and we had no highway bill. So the reason we are in a highway bill extension mode right now is because the Democrats, when they controlled the entire process, could not get a highway bill done. I think the House passing a 5-year bill is a step in the right direction.
Governor, you talked about what you're not getting from Washington. What do you need as a governor of the state of Illinois for Washington to do to get people back to work here?
Well, I'm very happy with the president. I think he has the right policies. He wants to invest in housing, small business, infrastructure, building roads and fixing water systems and building schools. That, I think, is what we need to do in our state and every state. And Illinois has had great growth in jobs in the last year and a half. We have a lot more to do. There's no question about it, but working with the president, I think, is the best way to go. The policies of Mitt Romney are not going to create jobs in Illinois. They're going to do the opposite, and we can't have that kind of backward development.
Go ahead, Barnacle.
Congressman, during the course of the primaries, one thing happened during one of the debates, I think mystified perhaps a lot of your constituents, perhaps a lot of the people in Illinois, and it was when all of the candidates were on the stage and they were asked basically the following question: would you raise your hand if you'd agree to giving up you'd get $10 in savings for $1 in increase in fees? Would you agree to a proposition like that?
You know what the skepticism is, Mike? Every time in our recent history where Republicans have gone along with that, the spending cuts have not gone into effect and the revenue has. Both in the 80s under Reagan, when George Herbert Walker Bush broke his pledge for no new taxes. This year actually is the first year since World War II where the federal government is actually spending less in discretionary spending than the year prior. And the only reason for that is because of the showdown that occurred over the debt limit. Both in the Reagan administration, the Herbert Walker administration, they never actually reduced spending from one year to the next.
Do you think that showdown did anything to damage the economy?
Well, I think people are very uncertain about whether the American government, whether our system of government has the wherewithal to deal with the debt crisis that is coming. And even with the $2 trillion debt extension that we got, we're getting ready to run out this fall.
But you haven't answered the question. You haven't answered the question. Would you accept $10 in savings for $1 in increase in fees, taxes, whatever you want to call it, 10 to 1? Would you accept it?
No.
You wouldn't accept it? Okay.
You know, the irony of this is Ronald Reagan, who came from Illinois, would not be able to be successful in the Republican Party today because Ronald Reagan closed loopholes. He had to raise taxes from time to time, and today he wouldn't be accepted in his own party.
That's simply not true. Look, the House Republicans have continued to talk about the need to close loopholes through our tax reform proposal, both in our budget as well as the framework laid out by Dave Camp, the chairman of the Ways and Means Committee. We want to lower the overall rate down to 25% by getting rid of all the loopholes and deductions. So that's actually a major part of our platform.
All right, Congressman Aaron Schock, Governor Pat Quinn, great debate. Thank you, gentlemen, for being on the show here live in Chicago with us. Coming up on this special edition of Morning Joe, live from the Windy City, Goldman Sachs CEO Lloyd Blankfein on what his company is doing to boost up American entrepreneurs. Morning Joe, back in a moment.
It's a wonder I can think at all, and my lack of education hasn't hurt me none. I can read the writing on the wall.
Morning Joe is brought to you